it is time for a makeover, and I know that everybody is juggling right now. Our kitchens have become master control, our lounge rooms, our offices, and relaxation time, well, you can just forget about it. So this tiny little courtyard, my aim, to add a bit of functionality. This is our lovely family. We're lucky they're away at the moment, so we're going to surprise busy dad Jamie with a multi-purpose courtyard. It will expand his home office outside, but most importantly, create a lovely space for the whole family to relax. This deck really is a bit of a health hazard because it's rotting and it's right on the exit out into the garden. You can see it's all spongy and it's just falling apart. Now, my guess is it's the fact that it's so shady here with the trees, which we've alleviated by lifting the crowns, but also these boards have been placed too close together. So water's stuck underneath them, they've swollen, and they're just eating themselves out. With the space cleared out, you can really see what you're working with. I'm going to create an amazing outdoor entertaining area with the flexibility of a workspace. So up at the house end, we're going to replace the deck and have two feature pads for paving. One's going to be for the barbecue and one for the office nook. Now down lower in the garden, I'm going to bring in the garden beds and create an intimate, entertaining space. This is the area I've dedicated for the new barbecue. It makes sense because it's close to the back door and there's no trees above, so all the smoke can go up. I'm just digging this area out, and afterwards I'll be using these pavers. I'm using a combination of the 600 long and the 400 long. I'm just laying these on a simple sand cement mix. We don't have to put a base in. This stuff stays quite flexible. I'm just using a cost-effective concrete paver. Now, it's a contemporary grey colour which contrasts nicely, but also blends nicely with the existing bricks that we've got. We've got ourselves a perfect little spot for a barbecue. This wall is a bit of a mixed bag. We've got pink prime timber, we've got normal timber, the back of some slats, some extruded bricks, some normal bricks, some bagging, some not bagging, a bit of a dog's breakfast. So I'm going to even it all out with a bit of paint. Now I'm using a texture paint just to even the surface out and to give us one continuous look. And I'm going for a white colour so it bounces light around and makes the whole space feel bigger. Well, this painting job actually turned out to be much bigger than I first thought it was going to be. This took plenty of coats of paint, but what a difference it's made. It's completely transformed the space. We've had to do a substantial amount of work to this deck, replace the whole frame with H3 treated timber, and we've cleared out underneath to improve the ventilation. Now I'm using a black butt decking board. When you're laying decking boards, you never want your cut ends to line up because it gives you an unprofessional finish. So you want at least 2 joists before you have a cut. And then if you lay 2 boards, then you can have another cut and it just looks more professional. Now I like to use a countersink because it countersinks it nicely, and then send in these stainless steel screws. Now these are quite soft, so if you haven't done it before, it's a good idea. Just have a little practice on a board before you go to your main deck. It may take a little bit of time and head scratching to get your spacings right, but it's definitely worth it. This deck looks so much better not having cuts at the back. All I've got to do is fix this one in and I'm done. With the structure of the garden coming along nicely, it's about time I got some carpentry help.
Charlie has been very busy creating a fantastic multi-use courtyard. Now, the brief is to keep it relaxing, but also somewhere where Dad Jamie can work from home. So I'm making an office nook out of some marine ply. That way, it can be used outside. Now, these come in 24 high by 1200 wide sheets, so they're quite big. I've had them cut down to size at Bunnings, which means now I just need to mark out where my fixings are going and pre-drill the holes. This unit is going to be used outside, and the problem is the ground might be uneven. So to get around that, I've picked up these adjustable feet from Bunnings. How cool are they? Now this shaft has to fit inside here, and it's not going to fit in this 18mm ply. So to get around that, I've got some 70x45 treated pine, and I'm going to cut it to the same width as our side. That way, I can drill my 25mm holes and knock this shaft in. Simple. And a little tip, if you don't know how deep to drill, just grab the piece, put it up against your spade bit, mark it with a pencil, get some masking tape, put it on that mark, and then you just drill to that depth. And to add to that tip, if you add a little flag on the end, it will get rid of the wood chips when you get to the depth. It just acts like a little broom. How good's that? The blocks for our feet all prepared. Now I just need to attach it to the sides of our unit. Then I can lay it out and start assembling it. With our unit laid out, you can see that basically we're making a big box. And to put it together, I'll be gluing and screwing it. Now you'll notice on each side that I've pre-drilled these holes, and this is where our desk and seat will go. And one thing you want to remember when you're building something to go outside, you just want to use an external grade glue. And for the desk and seat, I'm just adding this mid-rail, which will strengthen it all up. That way, this booty won't fall through it. All right, with our unit together, let's see what it looks like. Whoop. Ha-ha! How good is that? So, you can see, you can sit down, or if you're an office worker, sit there and do your typewriting. I've decided to clad the whole outside of this unit in a beautiful timber cladding. And I want that to be the real feature in the courtyard. That means I need this frame to be done in a plain dark colour. And it doesn't get much plainer or darker than black. And I'm using an exterior grade paint, and this one is self-priming, which means I can just slap it straight on. While the paint dries, I'll get onto the timber cladding I was talking about. And for that, I'm using these beautiful black butt decking boards. It's going to tie in perfectly with Charlie's deck. Now, I'm just going to cut it to size and pre-drill the fixing holes. With all the holes drilled, now I'm going to go over and give these boards a quick sand. Then I'm going to give it a coat of clear, but the tip is I'm doing it before I put them on the unit. That way I can do all the sides and seal them up. Now, this is where we're going to really see this office nook come to life. Fixing these beautiful black butt decking boards in place. I'm going to start by lining them up on each edge and then fixing the middle one evenly. Hold them in place, I'll be using some 25mm treated pine screws. Charlie's been absolutely flat out creating a beautiful multi-use courtyard for lucky dad Jamie. He's paved and painted, and now it's time for him to install my beautiful masterpiece.
What a masterpiece it is. Thank you, Adam. However you sent it here, I don't know, but it got here. He's also sent us up some brackets to attach it to the wall, and we've got adjustable feet, so we've got a nice level desk to work from. With a feature added to this side of the garden, I thought I'd add one to the other side as well. But that being more work, this is definitely more play. I've put in a whopping big barbecue. I got this one from Bunnings, and I did that because they've got this great assembly service that puts it all together for you, so I don't have to do the hard stuff and get on to the fun stuff like planting. When you're planting around a tree, you've got to be quite careful. You never want to build up soil against the base of a tree because it can rot. And if you put lots of soil to build the whole area up, the roots in the soil, they're not going to get enough water and they're not going to get enough air. So to deal with this, you want to try and get in there, but there's too many roots, so I'm not going to be able to. So I've come up with this as a solution. I'm going to use these raised planters, and I'm just going to overhang them in the garden bed just to take away the squareness. Now, this is going to give me a lovely pocket to plant into. It's not going to affect the roots around. It does look a little bit like a pimple on a pig's bum at the moment, but by the time I plant it up, it's going to look amazing. For our raised planters, I'm going for a combination of garden soil and compost, but I'm only using the compost in the top layer. That way, it's not going to break down the soil too quickly and the soil won't drop. And then for the ground level garden beds, I'm just going to mix the compost through to improve it, and then we're ready for plants. For the planting scheme in this courtyard, I'm going for a green on green theme. That way we're not relying on flowers and we can just use texture and you get year-round interest. I've got a couple of my favourites here. This one is a pittosporum called Golf Ball. Doesn't really need any pruning, keeps a lovely round shape and suits the conditions well. We've got quite a lot of shade here. There's only one sunny spot on this side of the garden, so all these plants have to be shade tolerant. They also have to tolerate really bad root runs. This is the New Zealand rock lily. It can take full sun, it can take full shade. The one thing it doesn't like is water around its roots, so it's perfect for this location. When you think of ferns, I often think of nice moist rainforests, but they actually grow really well in dry shade as well. This one is called the silver lady fern, and it just grows a really short trunk, but it's got this lovely rosette of feathery leaves out of the top. Because they like dry shade, they're good for raised planters and for planting around the base of trees as well. Squeeze this one in. One of my favourite textural plants is this. This is called Ligularia, sometimes known as Farfugium. The common name is tractor seat plant. You can see why with these leaves. Now, this will get a tall flower spike with a yellow daisy-like flower in winter, but really, you just grow it for the foliage. This lovely, shiny leaf bounces light around, forces interest down into the bottom part of the garden. It's a real feature. I really like this one. A plant that's really good for adding some medium height to a garden bed is this. It's the dwarf cardamom. Don't be fooled by the name. It'll get to about 1.5, 1.8 metres tall. Now, this will take up a bit of space. It will start to spread out into the garden bed. But Jamie and Catherine are going to really enjoy pruning this one. They can cut each stem back down at ground level to keep it upright, and the smell that comes from this plant is absolutely sensational. So now you can see what we were trying to achieve with this really tiny space. There's so much multifunction going on. But now it's time for the big reveal. The family's not here in person, so let's do it by video call.
Wow. Oh, wow.
So Catherine and Jamie, first up, we've got this amazing office nook that Adam knocked up for us. You're going to be able to work outside. You've got lovely white walls to reflect the light around. It looks absolutely superb.
I love that. It's so bright.
We replaced your old rotten deck behind us with a lovely black butt timber. And on this side of the garden, take a look at this barbecue.
That's just amazing. It's incredible.
Now, I've used a bit of a design trick here to make your garden feel bigger, and that is by bringing in more plants, which narrows the garden down before it opens up.
It's just a different backyard. Wow.
But all of this stuff is really easy care. All you need to do, remove a few of the dead leaves and keep it well watered, and it'll pretty much look after itself.
Wow, what leaf is that?
And then over in the rear section, we've got lots of room around a table and chairs so you can enjoy an outdoor meal that you've cooked on the barbecue and have a great time with the family.
Wow.
I like the way they've actually reorganised it so it's functional.
I'm really chuffed with this garden, and I hope you guys love it too. But most importantly, happy Father's Day.
We absolutely love the design, and the way you've created it gives us a whole new room. In fact, it actually gives us 2 rooms to live in outside. Thank you so much.